Hey guys, your Gabby John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. So if you did not see my last video, maybe go watch it. We're talking about Maxwell leaving the content creation scene for Diablo Immortal. It's pretty big news in the overall grand scheme of the game and advice that a lot of players are getting and helping. Basically just knocked a huge chunk of resources out of the picture and equation. So that's a really bummer. Go check out that video. But before, actually, you know what? After this video, go check it out. This video is going to be talking about the knowing whether or not you're actually getting more damage from your residents, from your gems, or from any other multitude of power, and knowing what's actually stronger for you and works better and what doesn't work better. All right, so you're probably wondering, what did you just say, John? It works better. What? Huh? What do you mean? Resonance is king. No, combat rating, that's king. Well, is it? Let's talk about it. So let's talk about what makes up combat rating. Let's talk about what makes up resonance. Let's talk about what makes up damage. You will notice if you go to your character in the bag, actually you can see that I'm under Paragon level. It's kind of embarrassing, but I was out of town for work, so I'm slacking. I gotta get back up there. Don't worry, I will be much higher before you know it. But you'll notice that I have approximately 1251 resonance here, and that's with this gem here with Bloody Reach in. We're gonna swap out into a different gem that I'm using that gives me a little bit more benefits, I think. And we're gonna see a difference in increase in my resonance. What's gonna happen when we increase the resonance? Our stats should come up, right? We should get more stats, mainly this damage stat. Now, what does that do for our combat rating? Combat rating is at 2007 right now. What's that mean when we increase a gem? So let's go talk about it. Let's go show you what I'm referring to, because this may make a little bit more sense to you. So, for example, I have Carson's Invigoration. I have two level 10 1-star gems. I have a level 2. I have a 5-star, 5-star, and another 5-star. Right? We got so we got a few 5 stars. We got lucky. Let's go swap in a different gem. So first, let's talk about the resonance is at 1250, right? So let's pull up our handy dandy calculator, and we're gonna say we are at 1251 because that is our current resonance. Let's go select the new gem here, which is going to be actually our, where's my, I got a rank 3 Howler's Call. Hello, where's that at? Where are you at, bro? Or no, it is rank 3. I'm thinking of Bloodsoaked Jade. Never mind. Replace. Now, what did that do? That bumped me up to a 1291, right? So that gave me a little bit of a boost there, right? From before, and our combat rating went up. Now, did our damage go up? Let's see. Our damage went up to a 4450. So 4450, and let's just for grins on damage, let's swap back out this socketed gem. And let's go Bloody Reach. Okay, what's the damage now? Okay, it's at 4407. So minus 4407. Okay, so it's a difference of 43. So really, we gained 43 damage from our gem. Now, here's the question. Did we really? Did we actually gain the damage here? Did the combat rating reflect correctly the amount of damage we got? So let's look at it. So Bloody Reach is your attacks deal 3.4% damage, increased damage for every 2 yards between you and the enemy. Okay, so this is circumstantial, the amount of damage that can be done, right? Is this really getting encompassed by your damage? Is this really getting encompassed by your resonance? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Is this really the best route for you to go to get the most stats and increases to your gear? Your resonance may say you're only at 1251, which you need to make sure your resonance is high because that increases the amount of your base attributes, right? Which that's why you saw a big increase when we go from a level 5 Bloody Reach and we put in the other gem, which is the Howler's Call, because we increase the resonance, and when the resonance goes up, your overall stats go up just a little bit because your resonance goes up. So that gives you that extra 1%, right? And that stacks everything. That goes higher, higher, higher. And actually, you know what? We somehow we messed this up, and we don't have our gems in here. That's kind of embarrassing, man. I don't know what I did to mess this up. Let's go fix that really quickly because we want to make sure that's all in there. Okay, that didn't happen. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Here we go. That number looks better. Anyways, so did we truly get a linear damage increase by getting Howler's Call? Because Howler's Call, what that does for us is that your primary attacks have a 10% chance to summon a charged spirit wolf that inflicts 180% base damage plus the 1400 to all enemies. So this is a chance, right? So did I get more damage from this, or would I have gotten more damage from Bloody Reach at a longer distance? Unfortunately, your damage calculations and your resonance calculations don't answer that question for you. It's really going to be up to you, the viewer, to determine what you feel does the best for your build. What makes you feel the strongest? Just because you have a 5-star gem in here does not mean that gives you the most damage. So keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind, combat rating, even though that's typically what everyone looks at, like, oh, just make sure your combat rating is up as high as possible, and that's going to be the best build for you. It really isn't, because the thing that combat rating gets affected by is a lot of it gets affected by your attributes. When I say your attributes, what do I mean by your attributes? I mean, when we look at your damage and your life and your vitality count towards your combat rating a lot more than your damage does. So say, for example, you went more with a life build, right? So you have more life over here from like your gem. Say like this damage one here, we said, okay, instead of using damage here, let's go and let's grab a ruby one. Let's give ourselves more life. So let's just do, I wish I had a 5 here. Do I have a 5 so I can kind of show you a better example? Okay, here we go. Here is a rank 4 that's damage. That's 56 damage. Currently our damage is at 4461 and our life is at 53,346. Let's go to combat rating. Combat rating is at 2015. Now what I'm about to show you, I don't know for a fact, because I'm testing it on kind of on the fly, that it's going to show exactly what I'm looking for. But when I swap out this particular gem here, you're going to see my damage is going to go down, my health is going to go up. And we're going to see, does that correlate equally? Does that give you the same combat rating, or does this increase my combat rating because I have more life? So let's replace it with a 4 out of 4. Okay. Notice my combat rating actually stayed the same. So what does this tell you? This tells you, even though my damage technically went down because I replaced that gem with a life one, my combat rating stayed the same. So am I doing more damage now, or am I doing less damage now? Did my combat rating accurately show that? Because my combat rating is still 2015, and that's what it was before. So it's things like that that you kind of need to be considerate of when you're trying to build your character. Just because your combat rating says it's the best combat rating for you doesn't mean that it is. You need to be cognizant of, what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve a damage build? Are you trying to achieve just overall like badassery? Are you trying to sustain? Are you doing an immortal fight and you want to have as much life and as power as possible? All of these aspects are going to go into your build, and just because you have all these 5-star gems and you have a high resonance, blah 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 blah, oh yeah, it's the best one for me, that's not necessarily the case, because your damage could go down. I could come over here, for example, and I could go in here and I could say, okay, socket gems, let's throw this one in because it's a 2-star. It's actually less resonance because this is modified. Let's grab a better example here, and then I don't have one ready, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I wish I had a better example, but let's just say hypothetically I were to swap this out for a Phoenix Ashes. So I were to swap Phoenix Ashes in instead. Well, Phoenix Ashes isn't going to increase my damage at all, but my resonance can stay the same. If I upgrade this to 3 out of 5, my resonance stays the same. But does that mean that my damage goes up the most? No. Does that mean my combat rating will go up the most? No, but they may look the same. So those are aspects of the game that you gotta kind of remind yourself. And before I forget, we're gonna swap this around, and I'm gonna go back here and swap out my ruby here. Because I don't want to forget this. There you go. And notice that the damage went up. Notice you see the damage change here, and my combat rating stayed the same. So that's proof in the pudding, like we like to say. I can do more damage and still have the same combat rating, or I can have more health and still have the combat rating, because of the way they're weighted. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind when you're building your champion. Like, what gems do you have over here? Do you have armor penetration? Do you have defense? What is it that you're trying to achieve on your build? because sometimes you may have to go with a different route than you normally would. So don't get discouraged. Don't feel like you're lacking. Go test your build. Go try all the gyms. Figure out what you feel is strongest. Pick your gyms. Go with it. One other thing to note here is I could go and I could increase my resonance right now on this piece, on this gym. Right, this gym gives me 100%, 160% gym resonance. And as you see here, because it's got those on there. However, if I were to take this and say socket something that has more than 160 resonance, so let's say this was like a rank 6, I could replace that and it would have higher resonance. But would that give me more damage? Maybe. Would that be a better build? Possibly. What happens though by having this gym resonance unlocked to the first level? Well, that inflect and change does the second part of Vengeance cooldown, which is, let me get to it. Where's it at? Right here where, yeah, Vengeance cooldown decreased by 10%. Because I have a level 10 gem in here, this unlocks the next step or the next unlock of this legendary piece of gem. If I were to get this to level 3, it would do a further boost to my character and make them stronger. So that's something to also keep in mind. Just because you have maybe what may on paper look like the best damage build does not mean that you have the best damage build. You're gonna have to kind of infer that on your own and do a little bit of testing. What I will do as a content creator for you is I will do a lot of this testing. I will do updated videos as I figure stuff out, as I get tests done, where I'm like, hey, yo, I did this test. These two gyms seem to work a lot better for damage than the other two. I will do that kind of work for you, and that way it'll hopefully help you a lot better. And yeah, hopefully this helped you understand more of what you can be doing with within the game, and make you feel a little bit better about, oh, my combat rating's so low, I'm not that good. Maybe you are. Maybe you're better than what you think you are. And maybe you just need to flip flop a few pieces of gear or a few gems to really boost your damage done. Because just because the resonance says it's low, or just because some aspect says it's low, does not mean that it is. Hope this video helps you. Leave me comments down below if it did, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace.